guys, this is Comic Uno, episode 51, and this is a show where I review all the comics I've read this week in one show, and this week I only have 10 comics, very small week for me. Almost got Vampire Diaries, but my store didn't have it, so that'll be a comic I'll probably not review, but just read myself. But yeah, let's get started. There's actually some comics you might be surprised I got. Some you might not be surprised, but yeah, let's get started with this wonderful Comic Uno episode 51. Let's start with worst pick of the week to best pick of the week. So what was number 10? Number 10 was The Wake, issue 9, the penultimate issue for The Wake. For me, you know, the Wake's been a good series. It has. I like the part 1 especially. Part 2 has been lacking, and with issue 9 I felt the lack. I like the cliffhanger. We get to see that Lee Ward and Lee Archer meet each other. I think they're definitely related in some way. So they finally meet each other. But the rest of the issue was kind of boring to get to that point. They're trying to defeat the alien little creatures, trying to get away from it. The government don't like them. So they're shooting at the group. So that's what's happening with this issue. It's not that big. Art's pretty good, but other than the last page, nothing was too entertaining for a last issue to say, hey, I really like Lee Ward. Still don't really like Lee Ward that much. You know, I'm not invested to her character as much as I was with Lee Archer. So, art's good. Ending makes me intrigued for the last issue because, you know, I've been reading this series since issue 1, but I can't say this is the best issue. It's just, there's a lot of things lacking, and there's a lot of parts that I just wasn't interested. So I'm going to give it 2.5 stars. I don't recommend this issue. I don't think you need it. There's nothing much going on besides that last page. Alright, so let's go into number 9, which is Batman Eternal, issue 9, again in the lower portion of this list. Very disappointing to see Batman Eternal so low, because I want to love Batman Eternal. It's a series that has Stephanie Brown in it, you know, a really intriguing story, but a lot of lacking issues, which I can't say with Future's End. I think Future's End has some lacking issues, but not to the extent as Batman Eternal. I think maybe mostly because of the art. With this issue, we get to see Batman's in Hong Kong. Don't think they needed to bring him to Hong Kong. I think they just want to utilize the character Batman from Hong Kong. But it's just trying to investigate more about Falcone. You didn't really get much information about him anyways. But the part I did enjoy about this issue is, is that Catwoman, is the prime suspect for Falcone. Falcone's like, don't really worry about Batman. Catwoman's the one I really want. She needs to go down. So it's interesting to see that the police officers are going to have to go against Catwoman now. So I am looking forward to the real interaction between Falcone and Catwoman, and that was definitely the best part for this issue. Why it's so low on my list? Probably because of the art, and I will talk about actually the cliffhanger also in a minute, but I want to talk about the art. Very simple, sketchy art, as you can see with Alfred's face. The faces really don't have much detail, which I was very disappointed with, so the art just lacked for me in this issue. But let's talk about that cliffhanger of Batman Eternal, is that there is someone related to Alfred who's a spy. Makes sense, because Alfred was a spy. So yeah, he has someone related. Is it a niece? Hopefully not. We don't want Batman and Robin memories. Is it a daughter? Maybe. But I can't say the cliffhanger really shocked me. It was just like, oh, that's a little weird. I never said, oh my god, Alfred has a niece slash daughter slash whatever. Family member. Was not, I don't know, it was just a little weird. It came out of left field for me. So I am going to give this 2.5 stars. I was disappointed with this issue a lot. Alright, let's move on to number 8, which is New 52, Future's End, issue 5, which was better than Batman Eternal, but not, you know, oh my god, Future End. Because one thing that does annoy me about Future's End is that I like the series, but I think there's too many obscure characters here. Like Frankenstein, which I don't think they make us say, oh my god, I love Frankenstein. They do that with a couple of characters here, like Firestorm. I care about them. Grifter, somewhat. Other characters here, there's some miscellaneous characters, I don't even know their name, like this little girl that pops up. I'm like, who the hell is she? I've seen her before, but I don't even know her name. And then there's a speedster that I don't really know, who just gets hurt. I'm like, why should I care about that? Because I don't even know you. Constantine's cliffhanger was like, okay, whatever, there's aliens. Cool. Mr. Terrific's beginning, he's selling a cell phone thing. Cool. That's what I felt, pretty much. That's every little story that was progressed here, besides Firestorm, which I really did enjoy. Every story that progressed, I'm like, cool, that's awesome. It was very, I wasn't really excited about it. There was nothing that got real progression. It was not really that many shockers here, and a lot of the characters I think need to be developed in Future's End, because I think they do a good job with Firestorm and some characters, but they need to develop a lot of these different characters. Batman Beyond, where the hell is he? This is supposed to be his story arc, and he hasn't been in any issues since issue 1. So give me a Batman Beyond story. So I'm very upset about that, but I do think this is a stronger issue than Batman Eternal lately, because at least the art's pretty solid and consistent. So yeah, I was disappointed with Future's End this week, but it's only been 2 issues that were lacking. Batman Eternal had a couple more issues that have been lacking. Alright, so now we're up to number 7, which is something a digital comic I had to get because I didn't get it. And that's Green Arrow, issue 32. Yeah, issue 32. Cool issue. You know, I think there's some interesting parts here. We get to see Diggle. He's kidnapped. I don't really care about Oliver's other sidekicks, so seeing them again, I just kind of roll my eyes. I'm like, well, you haven't explained them enough to make me care, so whatever. Diggle, I care because of the TV show, but if I, you know, obviously didn't watch Arrow, I'd be like, who's Diggle? And I think that's something they have to explain a little bit more and make us care about Diggle as a comic book character more than a TV character. But yeah, I like this issue because we're getting to see some C-list Green Arrow villains like Brick, Fire Moth, I think his name is, some of those characters, Red Dragon, which is a humongous Green Arrow villain. So it's interesting to see them. That's something I did like a lot about this issue. I do think it's a little too dark, this series. Like, I keep saying that. I miss my old Green Arrow. I'm not trying to be a fangirl, but I really do miss my old Green Arrow. But if I was a fangirl, I'd be like, I'm not going to pick up this new Green Arrow, which I'm not going to say because the story is very good. I do like the story, just as a Green Arrow story, it does lack. So it is a darker series. I like the cliffhanger, though, with this issue. We get to see Nico, which is Oliver's half-sister, and I'm glad that they're bringing her into the story, because they did develop her character enough for us to care about her. So, yeah, it's a good issue. I'll give it a 3.5. Nothing that blew my mind, though. I thought it was a good story. That's it. It was a good part 1. But I think I was a little bit more impressed with the other story arc. Alright, I think we're up to number 6, which is, let me just make sure. Yep, number 6, which is The Superior Foes of Spider-Man, issue 12. This has been delayed since April, so it's been a while. And there's a lot of filler issues with Superior Foes. I don't know what's happening to the series. I don't know if it's getting canceled or not. It might be. I don't know. This issue is pretty good. I think if it wasn't delayed, I definitely would have given this 4 stars, but since it was delayed, it's like, oh, well, was it worth the wait? Probably not, because it's just, you know, continuing the story. Nothing too shocking. We get to see Boomerang's back on the team. He lies a lot. He gets a bigger team in this issue, but the same story about stealing the painting, stealing the head. With Shocker, he's trying to steal the head. He says, you know, no more teammates for me. And it was fun. It was a fun issue. Love the art for this series. And I have a lot of fun with this series. It's just that it gets delayed so much. Is it worth it for the delays? I would say yeah. Obviously, I'll still be picking it up. But it is a shame how much they used to concentrate on this series because it was kind of a big hit. But ever since Superior Spider-Man, you know, got ended, I can't say got canceled because it ended. Ever since it ended, they definitely have not been focusing on Superior Foes. But this was a fun issue. I had a lot of fun with it. It's point A, point B issue, and it was cool. I liked it. 3.5. We'll see what happens with the next issue. I don't know where the series is going, but still definitely enough for me to pick it up. And maybe this might be a better trade read if you haven't been reading it yet, because it's a fun series, but it kind of sucks to wait for all these delays. Alright, so now we're up to top 5. Alright, number 5 is, one of the slips fell, hold on. Number 5 is, I was just going to say Hawkgirl. Earth-2 issue 24. And I did get the Bombshell cover, and I will be getting a couple of these covers. Next week, hopefully, Justling United, I'll get the Bombshell cover, because they're pretty awesome. So really like this cover. But let's talk about Earth-2. Solid issue. We get to see 2 different stories. One's with Green Lantern saving Flash. The other is Batman being gruesome. Not gruesome, but he's just being kind of a dick to Val, and he's like, well, it's all your fault, Val, that Connor died, and we learned that Connor died. So Val's like, no, I'm not hurt, don't worry, I understand. And Jimmy's trying to be a friend to Val, which is interesting to see. And Val, we can see, has a Superman suit, which, he's getting closer to be Superman, which is awesome because I've grown to love Val and all these characters. So yeah, it's a solid issue. I think there's some good character interactions. We finally get to see Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, and Flash together, kind of the main team from the beginning, together doing something. Then the other team working together. Is it a little bit of a filler issue? Yeah, not much is happening to continue the story, but it's great art. There's some good character interactions. I did miss Lois. I do like Lois in this series, but I think this is a very solid issue. So I'm going to give this 4 stars. I liked it, and Earth 2 has been such an improvement from what it was, so very excited to see more. So now we're going up to NumberFour, which is a digital comic. NumberFour is Grimm Fairy Tales, issue 98, which is a Comic Frontline exclusive. Very shocked with it. It was a really good issue. I really don't know much about the Grimm Fairy Tales universe. Trying to learn a little bit more. Last issue was very new reader friendly. This issue very new reader friendly. We're getting to see, because there's all these mystical people, we see how a normal person who's obsessed with knowledge, how his family was ruined because he was so obsessed with finding out that these people were real. And then we get to see Selena, I think one of our main Grimm Fairy Tale members. She comes into near the house and there's a battle going on and she saves them. And now he's finally, the person now is so obsessed with knowledge, says, I don't want to break up my family, and you know what, maybe it's not worth it anymore. And I'm going to lie to my daughter saying, no, these monsters don't exist. So it's interesting to see how this character has changed so much throughout this one issue. And you get to see a regular human being, how they interact with the Grimm Fairy Tale members. So I really enjoyed it. I think Pat Chan's such a good writer for character-driven stories. And this is a character, this is an ordinary guy, and I cared for his story a lot and how he was connected to the Grimm Fairy Tale universe. And I want to see him again, even though he's just a normal character, a one-issue character. He is a character I want to see more of. Like, how about the daughter becomes, like, one of these mystical people? Like, I was like, it's those questions that I keep asking myself with these Grimm Fairy Tale characters, because Pat Chan developed them so well. Really a new reader-friendly issue, and I love that about Grimm Fairy Tales. Most series that are up to issue 98 will not be new reader-friendly, but this is very new reader-friendly and a very good, solid story. So I'm going to give this 4 stars. Alright, NumberThree is Original Sin issue 3. Whoa, 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 it's pretty high on my list. Now, with issue 1 and issue 2, you guys probably knew you expect me to get issue 3. Now, I'm going to say I wasn't going to. I actually had to read it digitally because my friend Jay, on Comic Frontline, Jay said, hey, Kat, I think you should read issue 3. And I'm like, I don't know, you know me, I'm not really a big fan of Original Sin. Read issue 3. And I'm like, alright, I'll give it a try. So I buy it digitally, I get it, and got the issue. And it shocked me. It really did. There's points in issue 1 and 2 that I felt a little bored with. I didn't think a lot of things were progressing. It wasn't really my style. And then I read issue 3, and I really was impressed. I was. There's some kind of crazy stuff. I couldn't give like 4.5 stars. It was very close to 4.5 though. Because like there's this planet that died. He had this weird face. I thought that was a little weird. There's some filler parts. But most of it's really good because we get to see that our superheroes are finally getting to see the original sins, what the story's all about. They're finally going to see it. We're finally going to see our tie-ins. With Spider-Man, Daredevil, all these characters are finally seeing these tie-ins. So it's interesting that we finally got that in original sin because we haven't gotten to see that yet. But the big thing is, spoiler alert, we find out who killed the Watcher. And it's going to be a shocker. So spoiler alert. Skip a little if you don't want to know. But yeah, Winter Soldier killed the Watcher, and he kills Nick Fury. And what's interesting for me, I think, is how much I think it's going to connect to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think it's really connecting to make Winter Soldier a villain like he is in the movies, and Nick Fury, the white Nick Fury, the original Nick Fury, die and make Nick Fury Jr. really become the real Nick Fury at this point. I think that's why they introduced the regular Nick Fury to this story arc to kill him off, which is going more towards the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I honestly really like that. I mean, I like that they're going that direction. I hope they didn't just pull this cliffhanger for that, because I wanted more of an explanation why the hell did Winter Soldier go evil. But it was really interesting, and it got my attention. It did, and it made me really enjoy this issue. Do I think the series is a little bit too dark for me? For me, yes. but it was a fun issue. Let me tell you that. This will be an issue that a lot of people will be talking about, which we'll definitely talk on the Frontline live show this Tuesday. I liked it. It was good. I'll be getting issue 4. I thought I was dropping Original Sin, but after this issue, it got me back on board with this story arc, which I hope could be one of the better Marvel story arcs in a while. Don't screw this up, Marvel! Alright, so now let's get up to number 2. Number 2 is Tiny Titans. Man, oh yeah, Titans is back. Yeah, Return of the Treehouse. This is fun. We get to see that the Brainiacs steal the Treehouse, and there's no Treehouse anymore. So the Tiny Titans have to figure out where the hell we gonna hang out. And it's a fun issue. We get to see a lot of pre-New 52 references, New 52 references to everything. Solomon Grundy being a little mold creature is like, no, I'm a person. So I thought that was pretty funny. We get to see some a little more obscure DC characters. It's fun. It's such a fun issue. I laughed. I mean, I'm just happy to see Tiny Titans back. It's a series I had issue 1 through 50 of. I read it from issue 1. It is a fun all-ages series. It's fun for your kids. It's fun for you. Buy it. It's worth it. Buy Tiny Titans. Such a good issue. I gotta give this 4.5. Loved it. So cute. It's so good. I love it. And I definitely recommend the back issues for Tiny Titans if you haven't read them. But it's a series. You can pick up 1 issue and that's it. So it's a very easy pickup. Tiny Titans number 2. So fun. Glad it's back. Tiny Titans shirt right here. Alright, so what was number 1? Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man issue 2. Good issue. Really liked it. We get to see the original Peter is back. Miles thinks that he's a clone. We don't know exactly what he is. Miles wants to tell Aunt May. We don't know if he's going to. And Miles tells Kate, baby, that he's Spider-Man. Because it ends at that point where he's going to tell her. But will it be, you know, a cop-out where she won't find out? Or will she find out and we'll find someone else about her? Maybe she'll become, you know... maybe she'll become Hawkeye. That'd be interesting, which I feel like they're going to do anyways, because why have a girl Kate Bishop if she's not going to be Hawkeye? That's my question. I'm intrigued to see what happens with Kate. Overall, this issue is great. I love the facial expressions with Miles and Peter, where Miles just is speechless. He's like, you're here. You're Peter Parker. You're from another universe. No, I'm Peter Parker. You're Peter Parker. So it's really fun, their interaction. I do still think it's a clone. I do. I don't think it's the real Peter Parker. If it is, I'll be very disappointed. I talked about that in my first review, my first issue review. I'm not going to repeat it, but we'll see where it goes. I really like this issue. Art was great. Story was really good, and I love the character interaction. It was great. But it was a quick read. That's the disappointing thing. It's so quick, the issue. So I'm going to give this 4.5 stars. This is my pick of the week. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please tell me in the comments below what you enjoyed this week. What was your best pick of the week? What was your worst pick of the week? This is Comic Uno, guys. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and the Rant Situations. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. It's Comic Uno, Comic Frontline. I will have Comic Uno episode 52 next week. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.